All right, everyone. This is Alan McNabb with Image Building Media, and appreciate those who are with us on Zoom. And I know some are with us also on Facebook Live, and appreciate them being with us also. We have in the Zoom chat, we have the link to the cheat sheet I'll be using tonight. I invite you to get a copy of that because it'll help you to remember some of the things we're talking about, and we'll cover a lot of information. There's also some good links there for you to follow up. And of course, you can always visit Facebook, the Image Building Media Facebook page, and should also be on the Greystone page, and be able to follow up some more with the to see the video. I know many are doing that. We appreciate that. Well, Jorge Vasquez with Greystone Investment Group is joining us. And as a lot of his real estate agents join us also. And Jorge has done an amazing job. He has built a very large company, several companies combined. And he's done that in large part with website marketing. So I'm glad he's able to be with us here. And Jorge, give us a little intro and get us excited about this topic, would you please?
Awesome, guys. Yes, of course. Let me tell you something. First of all, my name is Jorge Vasquez, CEO of Greystone Investment Group, where you invest and we do the rest. Been in this business for almost 20 years. And one of the reasons that other people in the market always say to me, how come you do so many transactions? How come you're able to sell the properties more expensive than I can ever do? It is because I started early on with online marketing. I wasn't the best wholesaler. I wasn't the best realtor. I wasn't the best investor. I wasn't any of those things, but I was a really good online marketer for the past, 12, 13 years. I was doing social media before MySpace. I was some of my websites are 12, 13 years old. So definitely online marketing is the place to be. The real world is becoming the virtual world. The real world is becoming less and less relevant. So I encourage you to train yourself as much as possible, because we have competition. The competition is against computers, against automation. Our competition right now is with other websites. So making sure that you look the best you can online, have the best website, to me is the top priority as a business owner. Guys, I mean, Alan, think about COVID-19. You know, if you would have a couple of things with a website, the first thing I could think of is you could sell your product globally. So that I'll challenge you. Are you selling your product globally? If not, start thinking of doing that. And what's the best platform? A really nice website. Okay. And for those of us that utilize our websites as our main store where we get everything, we didn't get affected that much by COVID-19. Business as always, as usual. So that's my 3 cents on that topic.
Well, Jorge, I appreciate that. What I want to do is I want to share the cheat sheet here that we've got, and I invite again everyone to download that. And we want to clear up some confusion here, and we also want to address some of the biggest mistakes businesses make in regard to their marketing. And one of the biggest mistakes is that they do not realize that your website is your #1 lead generation tool. Absolutely, hands down, none other. And so a lot of times, maybe a business is getting started. It's a small business person. They think, I'm going to go do a little bit of social media. And they fail to recognize that the purpose of social media is to bring people to your website so that you can convert them, so that you can generate leads. And so we want to clear that up. We want to just really make sure everyone totally, completely understands, this point. And Jorge, you and your business, and you've got several websites. And like you said, you've got some that have been out there several years. And Jorge, let me just ask you this question. Would you say that you've basically built your business through lead generation with your websites?
500%. 500%. I knew that the market was very tough, a lot of competitions. So from the get-go, am I still there, guys?
Yep, you're still there. Yep.
I don't know. I lost you guys for a second, but real estate, think about it, guys. How many realtors are out there? Real estate is a tough market to break through. There's a lot of people, a lot of competitors, a lot of people doing the same thing you do. From the beginning, I raised my hands and I said, I'm not even gonna try to compete with them on the same playing field. I'm gonna be the best online guy that I can. And what happened at the beginning, I was spending a lot of time understanding SEO, understanding everything that needed to be done. But long term, took off and boom. And I was able to pretty much beat anybody in Tampa. I was actually nominated Business of the Year back in 2009 by the Business Journal in Tampa, this little company. But everything we did, all the business we did in those years and the business we do now came directly from online marketing.
Exactly. And I want to again share the cheat sheet and get to that. But one of our very good clients, Jorge, very well, Mary Ketcher with Merrimark Mortgage. And she's learned that if you rely completely on other people giving you business, i.e. referrals, then the minute a referral dries up for any reason, your business is down the tubes. But if you're generating business yourself through your own marketing, online marketing, then you don't have to worry about that. And indeed, that's been a big part of your business too. I want to get to the cheat sheet here for just a moment. And I've broken it down into 3 major types of website marketing. And the first one is to boost your network marketing and to generate leads. Now, this, unlike what Jorge did with SEO when he was talking about that a few moments ago, and unlike what we do for our business and for other businesses, there is a very valid and useful marketing component to a website, and that is to boost your network marketing. And so what this does as you go about and you talk to people, you want to bring them to your website. As you're on social media, every social media post, try to bring them back to your website. Every email, all of your email marketing, bring them back to your website. And so this network marketing is boosted. And it's great for, not only does it help you close sales, not only are you there for people to check you out, but it also helps with customer retention. Now, Jorge, a lot of real estate agents, quite honestly, we can't have like 5,000 real estate agents on the first page of Google, right? And so this is very valid. And I would say the majority of real estate agents do not do SEO to be on the first page of Google for sell my house or sell my house Tampa. So if you can for a moment speak to especially to your agents, because you've got a lot of agents that this is what they are using their website for. So speak to this. It helps to boost your network, although you're not on the first page of Google for, the best keywords or something like that. It's still very useful and very helpful. Talk about that for a moment, would you please?
Absolutely. In regards to having a website, there's so many different components, but one of the most important ones to me, at least in my business, this is for real estate, is that you're able to sell your product globally and that allows you to, so maybe when you do an SEO for something very basic like Tampa Realtor, there'll be a million. You will never be able to compete with those people ever. Now, if you look for niches, right? And it depends on your audience. Like if your audience is the entire world, then you could go what Chinese investors are looking for in Tampa, SEO. What Indian investors are looking for in Florida, SEO. So you're able to do SEO more targeted, more of a niche. Therefore, you're going to be able to get more traction that way. So trying to compete with the basic words of Realtor Tampa, forget about that. I mean, that's Zillow, that's Trulia, that's every agent out there. So one thing is expand your clientele. That's the first thing, if possible, depending on the product, Second is branding, because if you wanna talk to, okay, let me tell you about the types of clients I get. I could get Joe, the client that buys one property that needs help with his credit, and we help them through the whole process. Takes us 6 months. We make $5,000 real estate commission. He's not really gonna care about how exciting my website is, right? But the guy that I picked up this week that owns 50 properties and has $2 million to invest would actually say the first thing that he will say to me would be, can I check out your team and your website? And so branding and looking professional is super important in order for you to take things to the next level. And the last thing I will say is if you want to use social media, and by the way, to me, it's not about putting a whole bunch of garbage in your website. It's about providing really good content. Where are you going to send those people to? If you don't have a website. So let's say you could be syndicating all these things, but what platform is going to work as the cash account, that's going to grab the leads. So those are some of the things to me that are the most important. The website allows you to sell globally. The website allows you to look bigger than you are. And the website allows you, it's like a cash account, is where you send your social media to. You can have 1 million people in social media, and you're like, how come I'm not closing anything? Because social media is not a closer. Your website has to have some sort of pre-closing type of message, and then you close it. You're always a closer, but your website's gonna get you there, not just your social media profile.
And Jorge, I'm so thankful you especially mentioned that social media is not a closer. Social media is, for the most part, does not generate sales. It does not generate leads. Now, and I understand you can do Facebook ads and things like that, but what do Facebook ads usually do? They're bringing people to the website. And, now you can, I understand, do some lead ads and things like that, but generally, social media does not ring the cash register. Social media brings people to your website so you can ring the cash register. That's so important. You've got to understand that. And also your website for people to check you out. That's so important, right? Is someone going to write you a check for $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, or Jorge, in your case, a few $1 million, and not do a search and check you out on your website, on your social media? And what's going to happen if they see you've got a website that looks like, maybe you sell $50,000 houses and they want to buy one for $300,000 or $1 million? What's that going to do? Jorge, I'm going to tell you that real quick story. This person, Elaine, knows this also, and very good friend, told this story publicly, and she sells $1 million houses here in Tampa, and she was having a meeting with a prospect, and the prospect wanted to sell a house $1 million plus. and looked at her website, which is one of those free ones that looks like trash, and says, I don't think what you've got going on here is really what we're looking for. In essence, lost that, that house
What opportunity?
because of the website. Go ahead, Jorge, you tell one.
Well, I have another one too. We were having a board meeting today, right? And we have this VA company that we're using. We actually have like 7 VAs that we're using. And everything's been wonderful until there was an issue on billing, right? We have big plans with these VAs. We wanted to do more stuff. And then all of a sudden we have an issue on billing, and we're like, okay, let's look into this company. And all of a sudden we noticed that some of the phones were personal phones. The website had a couple of areas that didn't make any sense. The spelling wasn't correctly. So all the board members were like, well, wait a second. I mean, now let's question all the billing going back a year or two, and let's figure out if this company is professional enough to continue working with us. That decision, that thinking came from the poor website when we looked at it.
Absolutely. So important. We've talked about through all of these training webinars, perception is reality. We talked about it with all the social media, and we again talk about it with the website. I mean, as I was thinking the last couple of days of getting ready for this training webinar, and I asked myself a question: what good company that is, making the sales, that's doing great, that's growing, what company out there does not have an appropriate website? And that website needs to be appropriate for what you're doing. If you're selling $150,000, $250,000 houses, well, it needs to be appropriate. If you're selling $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 million houses, the website needs to be appropriate. If you're Greystone and you're selling properties to clientele all over the world, the website needs to be appropriate for that. It needs to project the correct image. And Jorge, that's really what you were talking about with branding. It needs to project the correct image. And so that's super important with that. And some people use their website just for that and don't. I mean, if they're on Google for a keyword, that's fine, but they're not investing in that. They're not working on that. And that's perfectly fine. That's a totally legitimate reason. And that's part of the website marketing.
It's like real estate. A domain is a piece of real estate. It starts with no value. And by the way, Alan, I'm going to be 100% transparent. I don't think people should go out there and build $20,000 websites. It makes
Correct.
no sense. First of all, you need to have a business plan. You got to find a niche product. You got to see if there's a market for it. Ideally, I always tell people, think globally, do not think your backyard only. And then if you only have the budget of creating something neat, focus on the neat first, make sure that the website is neat and functional. And then little by little, you could add stuff to it, because at the end of the day, the website is, for these people, I think, okay, I'm going to spend $10,000 and the website is going to generate me $10,000 in 30 days. No, the website is just a tool that you're going to utilize as you're doing your marketing effort. So we're not saying go ahead and spend $50,000. Really, the money needs to go into the marketing budget, where pay ads, whatever the case might be. But once you get to that point of, okay, let's spend some money on the marketing, you don't want to lose any leads because of the website not being professionally enough. And I think people start running before they could walk in a way. And that's why I'm so thankful, Alan, that I have you to consult me and say, Jorge, this is a stage 1. Once you get to stage 2, we'll move into stage 2, and then we'll move into stage 3. But you have to have something, otherwise you're almost invisible in a way. Invisible. Think about COVID-19. Now you are invisible. You're home. Nobody knows about you. So anyways, I could talk about it.
Oh yeah, that's great. Jorge, I want to share my screen once again. I want to, I don't want to spend a lot of time on these other two items because they're not what most people are going to be interested in or going to be doing. But I do want to mention that just so folks just so that folks know. And we did talk about just a little bit number two here, to use your website to generate leads through organic search results. Certainly Greystone does that. And I mean, that's very appropriate. And what people need to know is that the further out you want your influence and reach, the more work, therefore the higher the budget needs to be. So if you're trying to reach, for example, we've got some laundromat clients and they're reaching usually 2 or 3 miles around their business location. That's really easy to do. And the budget is very modest. But if you want to then reach all of Tampa, that's a whole different thing. If you want to reach Tampa Bay, that is a much different thing. If you want to reach the state of Florida, that is a much, much, much bigger thing. If you want to reach the whole U.S., as you said, you're competing against Zillow, Realtor.com, Wikipedia. I mean, that is a really different thing. So if you want to use your website to generate leads organically, just realize, and a lot of times business owners, they try to do too much. They want to bite off too much at one time. And again, just as Jorge was talking about, start small. And so start like maybe you're going to do Carrollwood. Maybe you're going to do Temple Terrace. Maybe you're going to do Land O'Lakes or Wesley Chapel or Lutz, or maybe you're going to do North Tampa or South Tampa, or, you know, pick a modest area where you can get started without trying to compete with Zillow, and then grow from there. The other thing I want to mention, Jorge, is number 3 on our cheat sheet here is internet advertising to generate leads. And I think the most important thing, because there's a lot of small business people, a lot of real estate agents, and I want to get your input on this in just a moment. They said, oh, I'm just going to run some ads and I'm going to get so many leads and I'm going to sell so much and I'm going to be rich. And what they neglect to understand, again, as we have touched base already, that social media, the purpose of social media, and in large part, the purpose of running ads in social media is to bring people to your website. And too many times, and I've seen this many times with real estate professionals, spend money on ads to bring somebody to a deficient website. And the ads do their job. They get people to the website, but they never get any leads. So Jorge, can you speak to that just a little bit about running ads to bring people to a deficient website?
Well, absolutely. I think you hit it on the nail. I think that doing advertising, you know, paying all this money in social media without having a website is pointless, right? At the end of the day, what are we talking about? We're talking about following up. We're talking about database. We're talking about, because we know 9 times out of 10, the first time you talk to that client, it's not the time that they'll do business with you. Sometimes it takes 2 to 3 or 4 touches, right? So even if you say you got the lead, but you don't have nowhere to send it, either to a website or even either to a database, or ideally a combination of both, really you're not doing anything with it. That is going to come and go, boom. You don't have a follow-up system. I say, Alan, at least if you send them to the website, they recognize the branding, Greystone, they'll navigate your website. There's a chance that they'll say, you know what, a week or 2 from now, they'll say, you know, I went to this website. Let me just check on my history. Oh, okay. It'll be more likely that they'll remember, you know, where they saw the ad at, you know, versus an ad they click on Facebook and you're supposed to call them. They're not going to remember, first of all, what they click. Okay. And then if you add to that a database, then the person is seeing you in the website. Now they're getting a follow-up email. But you need to have, in order to have the database, you need to have the website, right? I mean, you can just have a, how are you going to populate the people if it's not, it doesn't come through an entry or some sort of form. So yeah, to me, just getting leads without having a place to land is pointless, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, we've, you know, we have clients, and oftentimes they'll want to run the ads, and we'll say, well, you know, where are we going to take them to? And, you know, there's a problem with the page. Maybe, you know, they're asking them to fill out 20 different things. I'm saying, you know, there's just no way that's going to happen, but we'll give it a try. And then a week later we come back and you've had, you know, hundreds of people go to the website and not one person fill out a lead generation, none. And so have the website, again, it doesn't have to be like the Taj Mahal, but it has to look respectable, look nice, look good for what you're doing, and have the call to action there, have the lead generation form. And you know, we've got some information on our website, imagebuildingmedia.com. I mean, the things that you can have there. I mean, if you have a video on the landing page, 80% higher conversion rate. If you've got some testimonials, preferably video testimonials, higher conversion rate. Don't have too many words, 200 words maximum on the landing page, just things like that. Just very simple things like that to encourage people to fill out that form, get the lead, goes into your database, and then you start with the email marketing that has some of the highest ROI. So that's basically it in a nutshell. Okay, so Jorge, let me again share my screen here. I want to just touch on the next point we have. Oops, sorry, here. The next point that we have here. And say someone says, okay, well, okay, a website. You know, what do I need? So I put the minimum requirements here. And basically, you need a good quality business hosting service to start out with. You know, sometimes people start with the GoDaddy, which GoDaddy's terrible. Customer service stinks. You know, but they'll start with GoDaddy, and it's what, $2, $3 a month. But that's not the quality. You call GoDaddy and you say, hey, I want some business class website hosting. Starting out price is $29 a month. I mean, that's where you need to think about being. You know, you need a host that's got the speed, the technology, the security, the reliability, because Google's not going to be sending people to your website if they're just going to sit there and just wait for it to load forever. You know, the website needs to have the infrastructure to rank on search engine. It's got to have the design that's appropriate that we've been talking about quite a bit. And none of this is a lot of money. We're not talking about spending $10,000 or $20,000, nothing like that. But it's simply making good choices, be informed, know what you need to do in that regard. So now, Jorge, I want to go down here and talk about lead generation. And I've got, oh, hang on one second. Before I do that, there's something different that I want to do. I want to share, I want everybody to know, we're talking about the host for the website. I did a live Facebook video about this today, and we've got this article on our website in our news section. Google's new ranking algorithm for 2021. They're giving us a heads up about this. And we need to know what's going on. And if I can put it in a nutshell right here, what's important? It's how fast a page loads. Is it secure with an SSL, HTTPS? Now, let me tell you this. If you're with a good, reliable business class hosting for your website, and I'll put in a shameless plug, that's all that we sell to our customers. It comes with the security, the HTTPS, the SSL included in the price. You don't have to spend $70 to $100 to $125 a year to buy that separately. Okay, so what's Google told us? has to be fast, has to be secure, has to be mobile friendly, has to deliver a good user experience, not decrease in the performance with ads. And don't you hate those websites when they load, everything sort of moves around as it's all loading? None of that. And so again, just understand, you know, the $2 a month website hosting, $3 a month website hosting is not going to cut it. If you want somebody to be able to Google your name, Google your business name, that's not going to cut it. And so just know the small investment up front that you need to have the website that's necessary. Now, Jorge, I want to move on. I want to talk about, you know, just a little bit more about using your website. I want to talk about being found online. Yeah, one of the most frustrating things is to know somebody, you know their name, you don't have their phone number, you Google their name, and you don't find them or their business. Isn't that the most frustrating thing?
Absolutely. Super frustrating.
It's crazy. So I want to show you, this is one, I looked this up today. So Ray Hendricks is one of the Greystone agents. And Jorge, just tell us just a moment who Ray is and what he does for Greystone, would you please? He's not able to be with us today. He's driving and he's listening, but he's not able to be with us. So Jorge, will you tell us a little bit about Ray, please?
Absolutely. Ray is an awesome guy that has come to our firm to take it to the next level. He's the active broker. Very excited to have him in the team. He's a superstar. Yes, he's one of our agents, broker here, and one of the leaders of the company at Greystone.
That's awesome. So just as an experiment getting ready for our training webinar today, I looked him up on Google. Just put in Ray Hendricks. And number one, I don't know, by the way, I don't know if there's any other Ray Hendricks in Tampa Bay, or Florida or anything.
Let's say there's 200-300.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah. So he's number one. And by the way, number one with this real estate, realestateraytampa.com is the website he got from us with the Greystone special program we have for Greystone agents. Jorge, he's had this for what, maybe 2 months? And it's already number one on Google.
Yep.
Below that is realtor.com, North Tampa Chamber, Facebook, etc. All right, so then I look up Real Estate Ray, which that is his, what do you call that? His nickname, maybe, his handle, something like that, Jorge, Real Estate Ray?
Something, yeah.
Yeah, so here he is. He is in the Google 3-pack at the top of the page. And Jorge, we got to talk about that. We got to make sure time doesn't run out on us. We got to talk about Google My Business and being right up here in the 3-pack, okay? And I see we've got some chats coming in. We're going to get to those also. Then you go down a little bit. Here he is and all this, and here's his brand new website. It's only been out there for like a couple of months. First page. All right, now I also went over to Maps, because you click right up here. This takes you over to Maps, and you see right here. And the Greystone website, greystonefl.com, is in this. And every business person, every real estate agent should have the Google My Business and their website, their profile page on the broker's website, whatever it is, it should be in here. This is so important. Jorge, the Real Estate Ray, comes here, the top of Google, with the Greystone website. Talk about that, will you please?
Very excited. I mean, yes, absolutely. This is very important, having your local business to register with Google. Very important. I mean, in general, Alan, it's all about taking your online presence very seriously, you know, taking your website very seriously. The the misconception, I see thousands of agents, and I'm talking about agents because that's my industry, real estate agents, have a website they put together, have a IDX that works half of the time, and then boom, they have a website and they feel like this is all they need to do. No, there's other things you need to register, as Alan is saying, with Google Business. There's a whole bunch of other websites you need to register with. But at the same time, I know it could look overwhelming, but trust me, if you spend $50 extra a month, $100 extra a month as you can, and you pace yourself in the next 3 or 4 years, you're gonna see that you're gonna have everything you need. You're gonna have all the SEO, you're gonna have the website that you need, but it's all how you treat it. If you just put the basic minimum, might as well don't do anything. And we understand that it's a budget thing, but you can just, let me put it to you this way. If your website is a live entity, you should be checking on it in a weekly basis, checking the polls, making sure that the entity is still alive. You know, you can't just set it. So you have to, it's also like a plant. You have to continue putting fertilizer and stuff like that. But I'll guarantee you, if you do a little by little, you're gonna have a badass website within 6 months, a year, whatever the case might be. But yes, definitely, Alan, this is another great tool. Having the more connections, backlinks you have to your website, the more relevant you're gonna be, absolutely.
For sure. Now, Jorge, I want to take a question from Elaine, and she's a web designer here in Tampa. She's been on with several of our meetings here, and I go to one of the networking meetings with her. Let's answer her question. It's how to prevent spammers from signing up to a lead generation plugin on website, example, MailChimp. No, so what happens is you can have spammers. They'll go to your website, they'll fill out your lead generation form, and it just causes problems. Okay, so there's a few things with that. Number one, you're not going to stop it all. Don't get frustrated by it. It's part of being in business. That's it. You know, if some crazy person wants to pay someone in a third world company or a group of people in a third world company to just go out there and create havoc for people, I mean, there's nothing you can do to stop it. But here are some things that you can do. Number one, make sure you've got reCAPTCHA. That's where you've got to like click the little thing for Google, and then you got to choose the picture or something like that. Make sure that's on there. Number two, keep your all of your software in your website up to date. And again, let me give another shameless plug for our company, Image Building Media. That's part of our service for every customer that has their hosting through us. We do that. We take care of that because it is so important. Make sure that all of those are up to date. What happens is, you know, software isn't perfect. It constantly needs to be updated. Whether you're running WordPress, Drupal, Joomla, whatever it is, it's not perfect. It's constantly being updated. And so what you need to do, these security vulnerabilities, the spammers find them and begin to exploit them. When they do that, then the software writers find, oh, we've got a problem. We need to fix it. So if you don't go in and update your software, you're just leaving that vulnerability open, and you'll start getting spam all over the place. So that's basically all you need to do. Make sure you've got reCAPTCHA on every form. So Google's going to check to see if, you know, they're going to make them pass the test. Number two, keep your software up to date all the time. Every time you go into your website, you know, make sure it's up to date. You know, if you're putting in on an article or a video or something in your website, and maybe we'll have time to talk about content here in a moment, every time you go in there, just check. And of course, use a company like ourselves. You got any problems, we'll take care of it for you. We'll make sure that's all up to date. Okay, thank you, Elaine. And again, if anyone has a question, just put it in chat for us, and we'll do our best to get to that. Jorge, let me share my screen and show the Google My Business, because as you know so much, and your let me share again and make sure I get this right. Can you see my screen there, Jorge?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. For some reason, I can't. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So, as you know, Jorge, and I imagine, well, maybe everyone in our audience today, one of the easiest ways to get to the top of Google is have your Google My Business profile filled out, accurate, so important, have the correct category selected, and have it verified. Usually to verify it, they're going to send you a postcard to your business address. All right, so to do this, you just simply go to your info once you have it started up, and you just fill all of this out. And again, our category, Internet Marketing Service, and you just make sure all of this is filled out. And it's easy. You say, you know, my hours are not that important. Well, it's that important to Google. And so if they're going to send people to your place of business to have an appointment, you need to have the hours in there. Special hours. Are you closed on Christmas or something like that? There was, and I don't see it right now, there was a notice for COVID-19. You know, go in there, put your COVID-19 notice in there. Make sure you've got your phone number. Make sure you've got your shortened name. Make sure 100% you've got your website. This is a free backlink. This is some of the strongest SEO backlink you're ever going to get. Have your appointments in there. List all of your services in here, and they'll give you an option to have a price. Put a price at price range. Put the price range in there and put a great description that has your keywords in there. What's important to you. Add photos you can post to this. It's so important. And again, the software we provide to our customers, and for those we do full service social media, we post to this. It is so important. But Jorge, this is the one thing you can do today to get on the first page of Google within about a month. All right, so do you have a comment on that? I know it's important for you and your company, and you've got several of those.
No, absolutely. Like I said, you know, how hard is it to find a backlink? You know, how hard is that? And if you don't mind explaining to the audience the power of a backlink very quick and how you can do it literally within 30 days with Google, out of all people, you know?
Jorge, we talked last time about getting backlinks on YouTube. Powerful, powerful, powerful. I mean, you know, YouTube is the second busiest website in the world, second most used search engine. You can get it there. You can get it here on Google. And let me, Jorge, I want to go over to the cheat sheet here a little bit. And I want to talk about generating leads with organic search, because that's really what SEO gets down to. It is because of the reason of SEO. When we're looking at Ray Hendricks, he appeared on the first page of Google, those occasions we looked at it. And so I'm also going to share with you, I've got a link right here for you. And, you know, I knew there was no way we were going to get around to talking very much at all about SEO. The link on the cheat sheet takes you to one of our major pages on our website where we thoroughly go into SEO. I mean, you're going to get a great education. If you can understand this page, study to understand this page, you're going to get a great education. Jorge, let me break it up like this. There's three important components to SEO. One is content on your website. And I want to click over here on this, on the sheet, website content right there. Website content, number one. Number two is backlinks. A backlink is a link from one website to your website. In other words, it's the link on Google My Business to your website. It's the link on YouTube to your website. As a matter of fact, I pulled up this right here. This is our YouTube channel. And this is one of the featured videos right there. Boom, backlink to our company. I mean, that is gold. That is gold. So, and the third component is Google's algorithm, AI, an algorithm. Now, there's nothing you can do about that third point, but you can do something about the first 2 points. Basic backlinks just with filling out your profiles. Super important. Do that. Those are all great. Then focus on your content, because Jorge, what happens if you've got good content? What are people going to do? They're going to link to it, aren't they?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So have great content on your website. So those are the 3 major components. And Jorge, before we run out of time here, I want to share, this is the link I've got right here, Content Marketing Stats. There's a lot of web pages that have these stats, but and I encourage you to go through all of these. But let me just pull up a few. Why is it important to put content on your website? And Jorge, tell me, I think this is one of the things most businesses neglect, is they do not put, whether it be articles, videos, whatever it may be, they don't put it on their website. And someone goes there and they say, well, you've not put anything on your website for like 3 or 4 years. And I think that is a huge, huge mistake. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that the conception is that most business owners do not believe it. They don't believe it. We tell them, listen, it's all about content. It's all about having great articles, education, first of all, and you're going to start bringing traffic, but most people just don't believe it. They don't believe it until they see it. I could tell you, I was one of those guys 10 years ago, and I had a guy like Alan said to me, hey, content. I was like, what? No. Why do I need to do that? Let me post pictures. But no. But once the client or the business owner sees that the results for the first time, then they become a believer. Then they want to create books, ebooks. They want to do everything. But I think that most people out there with websites, they think that just having a website, that's it, and especially for realtors. I mean, one of the worst, most awful websites I've seen in my life come from realtors, because they think that it's all about having access to the MLS, just having their picture there, and that solves the problem, and who really in their right mind will utilize that website for more than once? Who would really? It's not sexy. There's nothing else to do there. So I do believe make it as something live. You have to constantly provide more feedback. If you want readers, followers, the easiest way to sell your product is to a fan.
Exactly.
It's so easy.
And that's one of the big things with content marketing. I mean, the sales funnel, you have to understand sales funnel if you're going to be in sales. The sales funnel starts with exploration and education. It doesn't start with, I'm going to go buy something. Now, maybe if you're selling something that costs 50 cents or $5, but if you're selling something that is of great value, like you're selling houses and homes, people are going to do research. They're going to check people out, and they're going to take oftentimes they're going to take a long time to do that. They're going to educate themselves. They're going to learn. And when it gets time to buy, who are they going to buy from? And Jorge and his company, great for years, even before Greystone, even before Jorge created Greystone. And he educates people. And then when they get ready to invest, or maybe they're investors already, when they get the next money to spend on investments, I mean, where are they going to go? They're going to go to the person who's been educating them all of this time. Let me throw out these stats. I encourage everybody to go check this out. I've got the link in our cheat sheet. Content marketing is incredibly cost effective and offers an amazing ROI. As a matter of fact, it costs 62% less and generates approximately 3 times the volume of leads. I mean, it's incredible having content on a website to drive people down the sales funnel. That's what we're talking about. Let me do 2 more here. Content drives conversions like gangbusters. Number 3, the biggest brands in the world realize that content is the future. And Jorge, real estate people, a lot of times are great at making videos, right?
Yeah.
But that is instant content. Let me just show you over here. Let me go to our blog really quickly. And I'm going to go here to our Twitter webinar that we did. And Jorge, I've got like 9,000 plus words on this page. I've got a little introduction, I've got a little information, I've got the video, and then I've got a transcript of like 8,000 plus words. And the transcript, we've got a company that does the transcripts for us. It cost me like 50, 60 bucks to have all of this content.
There's a lot of synergy there. You know, you don't even have to, you worry about, oh, I don't know what to write. I don't do the transcript.
Absolutely. Okay, well, Jorge, our time is getting close to being up. I see that we don't have any more questions in the chat. I've not been able to keep a watch over Facebook to see if any have come in there, but okay, transcript, $50 per video. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'll put in the chat right here. Thanks for the question. And I think I talked about this with our YouTube training. Scribie is the company. It's like 80 cents per minute. So if you have a 2 to 3 minute video, what does it cost you? A couple, $3. And it's, you know, in a way it's free content. It's repurposing content, which is really super big in the marketing.
If you have an accent like me, it's gonna be like $10 an hour a minute.
Hey, I'll tell you very quickly. So with the last transcript I bought, you know, and then I think I paid, it might have been $80 or something, because it was a long webinar. Plus also I pay for the transcript that we upload into YouTube and not use their automated one, which is terrible. So I pay a little extra for that. And it was an extra $25, you know, because of accent. But you know what? It's worth it all day long,
I wanted to end it with this, right? If the internet was gone tomorrow, what would we miss the most? Think about it. Alan, what would you miss the most? Being able to find out something, right? Information will be the first thing we will miss. Not the pictures, not social media. What we would miss the most is be able to ask Google a question, research something. So that's why information is the most important thing. You know, and by the way, one thing that I always say, as long as you have a really good article, it's evergreen, talking about something in general, it could last forever. You could die, for God's sake, if somebody could look at your video and say, you know, you could change somebody's life. Look at it that way too, you know. Everything you do online, it stays there forever. So educate your clients, make them fans, make them love your branding. With that said, you need to look professional, and the sale will come on its own. Don't push it, but very important that you work on your online presence. It is very relevant now, and 5-10 years from now, it will be the only thing that matters. So take advantage of it.
Absolutely. Hey, let me, I appreciate the great comments coming in. You're welcome to everyone. We do have a question here. You know, what do you think about podcasts? With a video, you can do post, yes, and you can do a podcast. Hey, let me give you this quick little tip. You can, with the videos and with the software that I use just to dress them up a little bit, you can get just the audio file. You upload the audio file into SoundCloud. They've got a free account. Their paid account is very inexpensive. It will auto-generate with the podcast and all of that automatically generated. It is one of the greatest things out there. So podcasts are great. And two, with podcasts, include a transcript. All right, Jorge, our time is up. Thanks again to everyone for the great comments. And again, I'm Alan McNabb with Image Building Media, Internet Marketing with Proven Results. And Jorge, give us your website and your tagline and all of that.
This is Jorge with Greystone Investment Group, where you invest and we do the rest. Please follow Image Building Media because we're going to be doing this every 2 weeks. We want you guys to participate more. Sometimes not all the questions get answered. We have very low participation, but please take the time next time. And thank you for the time. That's it. Thank you, Alan.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And Rafi, I see you there. Thanks for being with us today also. Appreciate that.
Well, Rafi, thank you for the support. Appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.